Yeah. Yeah. Mother, what was that noise?
Greetings, my good man. May I ask you a question?
Ask first, then I'll ask you something.
Really? Good then. We're looking for Ginger, a stable boy at a nearby stud farm. Have you seen him anywhere?
I was just about to ask you two the same thing. I'm looking for him too.
Then it's a pity neither of us has found him yet.
Thank heavens I've found you, though. I imagine you two might be able to tell me something about Neuhoff. Hmm?
I see. Well, we can give you a little demonstration of what happened there.
Jesus! You know how this one ends.
I'm going to enjoy it.
Had enough?
Are you going to cry now?
Greetings, my good man.
Ask first.
Really?
I don't know anyone called that. I'm not even from this part of the country.
What a shame. We're worried about him, but we can't seem to find him.
Truly, I haven't seen him. If I were you, I'd ask the charcoal burners.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for your advice.
Is someone there? Are you looking for someone? This won't take long. Peace. Shit. No kurwa.
I bear good tidings.
Already?
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great, but
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, well, look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
I was looking for that boy, and
And you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzik, eh? I really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed.
I...
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering. And it's my job to whip you. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the... I hope we've got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. Now, let's hear...
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Uzhitz.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Uzhitz. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzik will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
I have some, trophies.
Let's see. Quite a collection. My boy, you're God's own avenging angel.
God bless you.
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it?
It's up to you what you consider it.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Uzhit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Uzhitz, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Uzhitz then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Mehoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir. Why choose Mehoyed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine.
Exactly. It's not about the silver.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good.
The trail leads to Uzhitz. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I've found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report. Take care now.
Good day to you. May the Lord watch over you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
What would you want with him? Well, it's no skin off my nose. The bastard has a cottage on the edge of the village by the road to Ratai. God be with you.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it.
As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawler.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhoff raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know.
A bed. Lord above, they did a hell of a job on him. Must have been agony. How come no one heard anything? What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him? That would explain. An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day. Nothing here.
God be with you.
Another thing about Luke.
Take care now.
Yeah.
That sounded like...
Good health to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating.
What? I don't know nothing of...
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the
That man Lubosh who was...
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself.
Have you noticed anything suspicious?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even taught... I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose...
Do you know what Lubosh...
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky. But afterward...
That's all.
Farewell.
Greetings.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush.
Ask all you want.
Do you know who Lubosh...
I don't know, since I don't go.
Do you know what...
How would I know?
Have you noticed any...
Everything about him was suspicious.
That's all.
Good luck, then.
Yeah.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of... Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you will.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't...
Did you notice anything
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh...
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was...
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you...
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son.
Father, surely you can't be serious.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betrayed. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted...
Worse than the death of innocent Christians. Worse than the murderer escaping punishment.
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my own... If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again.
I wouldn't. But I can't, but suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine.
All right?
Farewell.
God be with you.
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed, there is. Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on old Gertrude, the herb-woman. He's not one to make a fuss over some trifle either. Oh, and another thing. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing.
Is there anything suspicious?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I've come in the name of...
I don't know nothing about it, but...
That's all.
Farewell.
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating...
I don't know how I can help you, but ask.
Who was this Lou?
You could see at first glance he was no good.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know.
That's all.
One ale, please.
Hey. The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There's a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take...
My poor child. May God... And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of... Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of...
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still...
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor...
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like... I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
You're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your...
Well, Ujits is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be...
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life with a nice moral to them, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of, just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of... They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth. And they shamelessly... You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have... What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their... While Jesus Christ walked barefoot. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by... Amen!
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregational...
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse the...
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink.
Ah, that sounds like...
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
To nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesięć smutek, dnielno i rano utek. Jakiś małżeński majsak, do wczera żylne staje brak. Już tej woli słaby murzynek, chciałby pełnie i gudzi. Na jedno, a tacy damy jedno, a może...
Enough of this!
Come over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Wow.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Go on, then, bailiff.
Yeah!
Good.
You're dead. You guys are...
Hey!
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin,
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own? Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. We have... Oh, shit, I have to say Mass.
How?
I gotta
You're the
say
priest.
Mass. I can't do it. You have to help me. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this... No, I got
Henry,
it.
look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. You just came from
If the
studying in
bailiff or
Prague.
someone else complains
and you
about
want to
me,
share the words of Master
the
Jan
bishops can
Hus,
have
who
my
we
guts
recently
for
heard
garters.
preaching there. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance. No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know.
Christ almighty.
Fine. Wonderful. What's the matter with you? We have to start Mass. It's already late.